It was late December and nearing Christmas, and with this brought more passengers and goods than ever. Matthew, who usually took the vans with his other trains, now had to make extra trips to accommodate the extra goods. Matthew didn't mind the work, but being the old engine he was, he began to find he couldn't. One evening, as he was backing into the sheds, Bert noticed something wasn't right with him. "I wonder if we'll have a white Christmas this year. I doubt it. It usually'd snow by now." "Are you all right, Matthew?" "I think so. Just my age catching up with me. You didn't sound all right backing in." "Didn't I? I didn't really notice." "He's right, you know. You were a bit low on pressure when you came back in." "I don't feel any different." "Still, I think all this work you've had as of late is getting a bit too much for you, old boy. I'm off to see Mr Richmond now to see if he can do anything about it." "Oh, well, I don't want to make a fuss." "Don't worry, old boy. It'll be fine." Mr Richmond was leaving his office when Matthew's driver caught up with him. "Oh, hello, Cyril. How are things?" "Oh, good, thank you, sir." "That's good. Anything I can do for you?" "Well, actually, sir, that's why I've come to see you see. I think all this work Matthew's got starting to wear him out. He's only a few years off 70, though, sir." "Yes, I've been meaning to ask you about this. I've been thinking about dividing the vans you take with your passengers with Bert and Simon. And with the goods, I was thinking of assigning Bert to take another train, so it would even the strain. It'd mean more work, but the trains would be evened out between everyone." "That sounds good, sir. Well, I'll tell my replacement then." "Replacement, sir? We're not losing you, I hope." "Oh, heavens no. I'm just going down to London to see some family for Christmas." "Sounds fun, sir." "You'd think that, but you'd never met them." "Happy travels, sir. And a Merry Christmas, too." "You too, Cyril." The next morning the new orders came in, and everything started to go smoothly once more. Up until Mr Richmond's replacement, a man by the name of Mr Allan, arrived.
Well, 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 I'm not used to such a disorganised yard. That will have to be fixed immediately. Oi, you, there.
"What, you mean me, mister?"
Yes, you. Come here.
"Alright, don't get your trousers on a twist."
Where's the loco shed?"
"What, you mean that one?"
That's the loco shed? You couldn't fit a pug in there, let alone a Pacific.
"Here, who are you anyway?"
Your new boss."
That night, when the engines returned to the shed, Mr Allan was waiting for them.
This shed, this yard, and this railway, from what I have seen, is a disgrace. That, when I leave, will be changed.
"Oi, what's wrong with our yard?"
And you are? I'm Bert. No, your number.
"Number? My number's 68010.
Ah, yes, I see. The XLNER J94, is that correct?
"Yeah, and?"
From now on, you will only speak when spoken to."
He is joking, right?
"No, I most certainly am not. Now be silent. As of tomorrow, I will be reorganising trains to a more sustainable layout. 68480 will be assigned to all goods work. 35005 will be assigned to the express passenger work. And 68010 and 69506 will be replaced on branch line work. And I will see you all at 7 o'clock sharp in the morning."
And with that he left. The next morning the engines went off to their new jobs. Matthew tried to enjoy his job, but the trucks kept causing trouble. To make matters worse, Matthew's health was hardly keeping up. It was now just under a week before Christmas, and ice covered everything. This made work significantly harder.
It's ridiculous. Every time I try to pull out of the station, I slip. With this new timetable, I've more passengers than usual, making the trains even heavier. What's wrong, Richard? I thought you had a Class 8 power classification. Bullied Pacifics do have a tendency to slip. They don't work like that, Bert, and plus, I've never slipped before in my life. It's undignified. Well, lately you've been doing it. Yes, but that can't be helped. It's caused by the ice. How are you holding up, Matthew? Oh, just fine, I think. Matthew knew he wasn't holding up well, but he didn't say anything as not to worry the others. But over the next few days, Matthew's condition worsened, and his friends began to take notice. One night, Bert brought up the subject. So, Matthew, I don't want to intrude or anything, but, well, over the past few days we've noticed certain changes in your health. What he is so discreetly trying to say is that, are you sure you are okay? Well, since you've brought it up, actually I'm not so sure. With all this extra goods work Mr. Allan's given me, I can barely keep up and it's starting to wear me out. Have you asked Mr. Allan, to see if he can change things round? I mean, I'd gladly swap work with you. Driver said he'd spoken to Mr. Richmond about it, and he said he'd tell Mr. Allan. Yes, but Mr. Allan did just implement his new and improved timetable system. I'll tell you what, when Mr. Allan comes next, we'll ask him about it.
Well, here I am, and what do you want?
Well, sir, Matthew is the eldest engine of our railway, and the work you've allocated him is overbearing on him.
Well, if it's too much for him, perhaps he should be taken out of service.
The engines were furious. How dare you come to our railway and insult us? I don't know how they run railways where you come from, but here we look out for each other, we care for each other. And if you don't like it, you can ruddy well get lost.
How dare you insult me like that? My work schedule has been designed so any engine would be able to do it. If he cannot, then he should be retired. Good night.
And he stormed back to his car. Sorry, Matthew. No, Bert. I have to thank you for standing up for me there. And both of you, too. But he has a point, though. Don't say that, Matthew. Where there's hope, there's life. And besides, Northerner, you've still got a lot of life left in you. Thank you. All of you. It was Christmas Eve and Matthew was out early again. Arriving at Bottom Yards, he began to shunt empty vans into order. The vans were rude and loud and didn't want to move. The ice covering the tracks made it worse. Come on, you lot, I'm not in the mood for arguing today.
Give up, old-timer. That Mr. Allan's got it right. You should be retired.
Shut up, all of you! The vans became ruder still.
Stuff him and mount him. I said stop it!
Matthew bumped the van hard, but when he tried to stop, he found he couldn't. Luckily, the buffers did their job. Matthew remained upright and on the rails, but the van and the truck were pushed down the embankment. Oh dear, Mr. Allan won't like this. And he didn't.
I knew something like this would happen eventually. As soon as I get back to my office, I'm making orders to have you taken out of service.
And with that, he left Matthew to clean up. It was late when Matthew was headed home. He spent most of his time thinking to himself what would happen. They were all soon interrupted when suddenly, up ahead, his crew noticed something. Oi, what's that? It's a red lantern. Something must be wrong. Steady, old boy. Matthew came to a stop to find a rather worried man waving a red lantern. You right there, mate? I'm sorry, my wife's going into labour, and my car's broken down. Can you please get us to Hinton? Of course. Hell of a time to go into labour. Tell me about it. Right, I'll go with him and get his wife. You go wake Arthur up and make that place a little tidier. Right. Oi, wake up, Arthur, you old drunk. You're getting visitors.
What? What's going on?
Cyril's bringing down a pregnant woman.
What's she doing with a pregnant woman?
She's going into labour, and their car's broken down. They can't get to the hospital.
Hell of a time to go into labour. Christmas Eve and all.
That's what I said. The driver brought the woman down and made her comfortable in the van. I don't think we'll make it back in time. Her contractions are going faster. We'll have to try. We can't just sit here. What if she gives birth on the way? Well, I saw everything the doctors did when my wife gave birth. I guess it can't be too hard. Right then. You stay in here with her, and Arthur can come be in my fireman.
What, me?
Yes, you. Now come on. They had called ahead at a signal box, and when they arrived at the station, 2 paramedics were waiting. But when they found the mother, she was holding the baby, wrapped in the fireman's jacket. They quickly took the mother and the newborn to hospital for a checkup. Matthew couldn't feel happier. If he was going to be taken out of service, at least he helped someone in need. And on Christmas Eve, too. However, on the station stood a rather surprised-looking Mr Richmond. Well, well, Matthew, I never thought of you as an ambulance. I knew Terry, a midwife. Well, sir, drastic times call for drastic measures. I see. Excuse me, sir, but I was told you were in London. Well, I was. You see, yesterday I received a rather strange phone call from your driver about all the goings-on here. I made my way here as quick as possible to sort things out. Seems I arrived in the nick of time. He was about to process an out-of-service form for you. Oh, thank goodness, sir. But what's happening to him now? Oh, I've sent him packing. He won't be showing his head round here anytime soon. I'm sorry to have brought you away from your family, sir. Well, funny thing that, actually. When I told my family about what was happening, they all decided to pack up and come down here. Turns out we're going to have Christmas Eve down here. Oh, wonderful, sir. All right then, Matthew. Best I was off. Santa Claus will be here soon. Merry Christmas, Matthew. And to you too, Cyril and Terry. Merry Christmas, sir. Merry Christmas. Evening, Matthew. Where have you been? Well, that's a long story. And Matthew told Bert all about the evening's events. Well, 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 I never thought I'd hear a tale like that. Looks like it's Christmas Day. Merry Christmas, Bert. Merry Christmas, Matthew. Hey, look! It's snowing. Looks like we will have a white Christmas after all.